Grandma,
Yeah.
happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're 99 today.
Yeah, I am.
Grandma, can you remember back to your very first memory? 99 years ago?
Remember the very
Can you remember the very first thing you ever remember?
You mean a boy back?
Yeah, very first thing that you can remember.
What's your earliest recollection?
That's when we came here in America. The
No.
trouble I had over there.
No, the first recollection was that you told me is the bananas down Louisiana. You used to play underneath the house when you were a
yeah.
little baby.
Well, the house where my grandma lives, the train used to go by in the front of the house. Not in front of it, but a block away. And there was those houses that were real high over there. And I crawled underneath there, and I had a frog in my dress. I didn't want that. I was afraid, you know. And my grandma used to come. Hello, Giovannina, come sta? Used to come every morning.
And you were about how old?
I was going to be 4.
4 years
I was going to be 4 in June, and we left in April.
Wow.
My mother had my brother 2 months old, and she had him on with a shawl, right up with a shawl. And my sister in Palermo got a measles.
Uh-oh.
So my father ran away. We took off before all 5 of us get stuck with all the family was sick over there.
You landed in Palermo from here, and there you were going to be quarantined.
That's
That's
right.
what you're saying,
That's
right?
what I'm going to say.
Well, you
And,
go ahead.
we had the 2 little ones. We had a basket on each mule when we went back to Italy, to Sicily. And we put one of the kids on each basket. And my mother sitting on the mule with the little, 2 months old, wrap up for the shawl, you know.
That was 94 years ago, 95 years ago?
Yeah, I was going to be, I wasn't 4 yet. It was 5 kids, and my father went back.
Grandma, you look real pretty today. Tell me what you said about your dress, what you're wearing today.
Oh yeah, this dress has been, I had it since 1975, when my grandson got married.
Which grandson?
Jeffrey.
No.
No, it's Ricky, yeah. You remember you went with me, we bought a suit.
Well, we're going to see Jeannie and Ray in less than a week.
Oh, God.
I'll give someone a heart attack. Balloons are popping. We're going to see everybody back east in a few days, so do you want to send a message to them?
Yeah, sure.
What do you want to say?
My message is that I wish I could be there too. I wish I can come too, but I'm too old to travel now. I wish I was much younger. I'd go to Italy.
Italy?
First thing I'd go to Italy.
What would you do there?
Well, I'll go see all the rest of my relatives there. So, what do you do when you go on trip? Have a good time.
Right? Sightsee. Eat.
Manja.
Okay, well, Mom's got a really beautiful dinner here for us. Are you ready to eat?
Oh yeah, I'm ready to eat.
You hungry?
My time passed already.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
Okay, thank you.
You're going to get me in on that picture. I'm going to take this off. You're going to do it? Okay. One's for good luck, one to stand for 99 years, the other one's for good luck.
Hey, Grandma, light it on this here. Hey, Grandma. Wait, light the match on that one.
Matches are no good. We'll start over again.
Light it on the candle.
Right.
It's on a candle.
Alrighty. I'm going to like the string. Okay.
Wow, Howard made that pie. It's pretty good.
Sugar-free.
Okay.
Yeah, wait a minute, we lost
Well,
one
Mom, you
here.
guys sit down and, oh, it's the,
And we're going to have limoni
All right.
and sugar-free ice cream. Okay, stay lit. Take a big wish. A big wish.
A 99-year
Wait,
wish.
we got to sing first.
yes.
That's right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandma. Happy birthday to you. And 100 more.
Yes, here we go. Blow those candles
Make a
out.
wish.
Did you make a wish?
That's all right, leave that there. Leave all that pretty stuff there.
Oh, all right.
It's all right. It's okay.
All right.
Okay, Mama.
Here we go.
I'm gonna come back here.
Ready?
And just a time.
If I can.
Probably can.
Hey, Grandma, you gotta blow those candles out.
Blow them out.
Blow them out, Grandma.
One more time.
There we go. All right.
Good thing we didn't have 99 candles on here.
I couldn't have brought 2 candles.
Sure you did. 1, 2.
You did it.
The 1-2 punch.
We saved it.
Nah. You can take them home for a souvenir.
We have a movie picture of my
I got
godfather.
95.
And he's got a big cake with 82 candles.
Okay, you wanna cut the pie?
Started from the corner.
Okay.
We are here celebrating Grandma's 99th birthday, and Jennie and Ray, we wish you were here to help us celebrate. She's looking great, wonderful, good spirits, everything's going along fine. And she's going to help us plan the 100th. And you're going to come to it, I understand. Right, Howard?
Right, that's what
Right.
she says.
Yeah. Okay, give her your
Be
message.
here for the 100th birthday. Nothing like it.
Yep. Spry old gal. Tougher than we thought she was.
Yeah.
But we wish her the best. It's just wonderful having her around. It's just, I've never had any other relative live that long, and it's just amazing what stamina she does have.
She's liable to take off, go win the bingo like she does.
She won twice last week
He
again.
did, oh my God.
I won $4. Guess what? I won $4. She backed all her old activities and enjoying it all. And I guess they had a little luncheon, birthday luncheon for all the people. And she got, I think it's a dozen roses from everybody, from everybody there, and all kinds of cards and hugs and kisses, and all that, which made her very happy. And we all hugged and kissed her too, didn't we? So anyway, we're looking forward to seeing you soon. Hopefully we'll see you the end of August, around Labor Day anyway. And we're looking forward to that. So appreciate all of you kids sending Ma and Pa off.
Let's see who's sleeping here. Oh, Grandma, you're awake. I thought you were taking a nap.
I slept.
Oh, good.
There's a giant mouth that woke me up.
Okay.
In the long run.
Well, yes and no, depends on how you want to use it. For instance,
Okay, we're gonna go see what the boys are doing in here. Of course, Jeff's on the computer. Jeff, turn around, say hi. There's another sleepyhead, like father, like son. There's Doug taking a nap. Jeff,
What?
turn around, say hi.
focus that thing, would you please?
Are we on? Oh, we're on. We just wanted to wish Grandma happy 99 years. And Jeannie and Ray, happy 35 years together. We know what that's like, don't we?
Oh.
We had a great time up in Santa Barbara, didn't we? Well, say something.
I can't, you keep hitting me. Yes. Oh, stop already. You're like a little kid. Yes, Santa Barbara was fun. Santa Barbara was fun, and Solvang was fun,
Oh, yeah.
and I guess she's already planning her 40th anniversary. So look out, Ray. You're next. But I hope you guys have a good time, whatever you're going to do. I guess you're going to be traveling into the New England states or something?
They did that
You
already.
did that right. See, I know more than you do. I hope you guys had a good time, and I hope you have a great 35th anniversary, whatever it is you're going to do. And I wish you were here to help us celebrate Grandma's 99th birthday.
Oh, yeah, she looks great. Gosh darn. But then so does your mom, Jeannie. So it's in the genes, isn't it?
Do I have those genes?
Yes, it's in the Calvin Kleins. Uh-huh.
We miss you all. Have a great 4th. Have a lot of fun. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Man, you guys are nuts. What was that?
I don't know.
They're doing this the whole time. I'm like moving the camera down. They get a hold.
What do you call that dance? Oh my God, look at those grapes.
No, they're not in the picture. Don't worry.
Horrible.
to be alive?
Oh.
Moving picture.
It's the silent movies here. Who's it from, Grandma?
From Marion and Howard.
I think it was.
They made their own pies.
Well, that's no good for me. Now I better be careful. Once I did some damage. Oh.
Hold it up. What is
Looks like a
it?
milkshake.
What is it?
What is it,
Hold it
Grandma?
up.
What is it? She doesn't know what it is.
Simple, isn't it?
Shampoo?
No, it's not shampoo. Body
Oh, that's
wash.
not for the
Body
body.
wash. It's for
Yeah.
the showers.
For sure.
Make it smell pretty. And that's talcum powder after you get through.
Looks like mustard.
Oh,
What is it?
Take the top off and you shake it.
Okay.
But not
Shake?
too hard.
Don't shake it here.
yeah.
Yeah, it's body powder, you know.
Oh.
Put it on your powder puff and, you know, put it all over it when you get through with your shower.
On a hot day, that'll be nice.
Yeah, better than What's this? What's this?
Howard had those in his camera, and he realized they were still from Halloween, so when he got them 1 hour
Ah, Halloween, huh?
developing,
You know, show it to the,
Oh,
the
boy.
camera,
you recognize yourself, and
Oh, that's Donald.
yeah,
And somebody was up for Halloween.
that's right, that's what I said.
That's Sammy in the back, yeah. Oh, that's me over here.
show it to the camera, Grandma. See, it's nasty.
Grandma,
Grandma.
talk to the camera, show it to the camera, turn it around.
Show me.
That's,
Oh, that's my Halloween costume.
Show me the
turn it
picture.
around.
Oh,
There we go.
oh,
Now
costume.
you
There you are, Halloween. Okay.
Halloween, what's the other
Give you a
one?
little more time.
Make a movie star out
Hold
of
it up.
Teach you how to do it.
Hold it up.
Count to 10, Grandma.
Turn it a little bit more.
It's all right. It's all right.
She needs a light.
It's okay.
My eyes are not good at all.
Yeah, open the light there.
Do another Halloween costume for Halloween, Grandma.
More berry.
Here he is, Gary.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you both. Where's Howard? Thank you.
Stay down.
Body wash.
You put a little bit on your brush, your scrub brush, a little bit
Oh,
on it.
for the-
Doesn't take
the-
much, you know, just,
Yeah, tomorrow night she's gonna come and do it. Do it.
but you're taking your own showers, Lauren.
Have cards.
No, that's my regular stationery that I use.
Yeah, I know, because your cards have to make it nice.
Oh, I should get it. Yeah, Nancy gave me a package of something.
Have
I
envelopes.
think I used it once.
Because they usually have envelopes to go with it.
Yeah, I bought a box of envelopes.
Oh, for the 5 by 7.
Yeah, I've got both the small ones and
Yeah.
the larger ones.
Who's it from, Grandma?
You wouldn't be able to see it together. Sorry.
You can see.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. What is it?
Betty got the glossy kind. on one side,
Oh,
and the inside, it's just, you know,
What is it?
not glossy cheese and.
that's, the restaurant, the Olive Garden.
Oh,
It's a credit card to the Olive Garden restaurant.
Yeah, Clef. Clef is a gift for you. Grandma Jenny, love, Mickey Jeannie.
oh.
Wow.
You can go have some Italian food.
Oh,
You can invite your friends.
You could take your boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
There you go. A lot of them.
You do.
A lot of them.
Yeah, which one?
Which one, Grandma? Yeah.
Which one?
Which
Yeah.
boyfriend?
The oldest one.
Who's gonna be older than you? I thought you were gonna say the youngest one.
Hey, Grandma, this little plant goes with it. This with that pink one. That's an African violet.
For this?
Yeah, it goes with that.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Uh,
You have to water it though.
Supposed to be taking pictures now.
Monday
this is
and
it
Friday.
To handle, and I got big. The red roses. Oh my God. Oh, I stick my hand.
You go to Maidenhair Farm too? What? The Maidenhair Farm, you doing that also?
Yeah, can't get rid of it. Hard as can be.
Wow.
It's a little bracelet.
No magic show. Yeah. You know the when you gave me the yellow,
Yeah.
I know what happened. I must unhook
Oh, really?
when I find them little things on the rug.
Oh, well now you have a pink one.
Let's see, let's see. Okay,
Oh,
okay.
Hold the card up.
Hold the card up for the
He doesn't get it.
Okay. Wait a minute, I didn't take it yet, just a minute.
Well, you gotta
Yeah.
tell her to hold it up because you wanna take a picture. She doesn't know what you're doing.
All right, okay.
She held it up so you can see it. You saw it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
okay. Oh, that's good.
Let
Thank
me comb my hair.
You look fine.
I worked outside all day long.
What'd you do?
I picked up lots and lots of leaves. I cleaned the front patio, the back patio, and the leaves are all on the front patio now again.
You know what? If Jeannie were here, she would like to help you because she likes working
I
in the
know.
yard.
Where is she?
And then, what else do we do?
Hi, little grandma.
That's right.
Say hi.
Say happy
hi to Jeannie.
anniversary.
Hi, Jeannie.
Jeannie and Ray are
And
going to
Ray.
celebrate 35
Hi,
years.
Jeannie and Ray.
Say happy
Tell them
anniversary.
happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
How old are you now, Grandma?
What?
How old are you?
I don't know.
Yes, you do.
Honest to God, I don't remember how old I am.
Yes, you do.
What?
What did you do today?
Not a thing. I sat here all day
Yeah?
trying to sleep.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Have a nice anniversary.
Okay, we're going to get Dad
Good
now.
anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Happy anniversary to you.
Winding down.
Oh, good song.
Like a record winding down.
Okay, Dad. Your turn.
Now, who am I talking to?
Well, Ray and Jeannie, Kathy and Rick, Auntie Joe, Mrs. Urick are all going to be there. Lisa, Mary.
I hope you have a good time with Nancy and the kids there,
Look up here.
and I wish everybody the best of times and good luck to all of you. Thank you very much.
And you're going to see them in October.
No, I don't think so. Don't plan on it. Okay? All right.
Anything else? You want to say happy 4th of July?
To who?
To everybody.
There's
What are you doing on the 4th?
nothing. We're going to have company here.
Who's coming?
Not on the 4th,
Well, who's he?
the 1st. He's coming next Sunday.
Yeah,
Who?
Judd Ross.
Judd Ross.
Yeah?
His son's gonna drop
Yeah.
him off.
Are you going to the lake or what are you doing on the 4th?
You know.
No. If he comes, no,
No, he's coming the first and the second.
Oh, yeah. But then wasn't there somebody gonna be here for the 4th?
No.
Mickey and
Oh.
Jeannie are coming.
Yeah.
They were talking about going
Oh, are
to
they?
Iris's pool, maybe.
Oh, they still can go to their pool?
Well, one last time before they close escrow.
Oh.
So, Mickey had to move more stuff today?
Yeah, the truck was full.
Well, they got most of it out now, though, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Nancy, you have a good time with Jeannie and Ray, I'm sure you will.
Do you want me to eat a White Castle for you?
I got White Castles here that you bought.
In the frozen one.
Yeah.
Have you had any?
No, not
We
yet.
haven't had him yet.
Okay.
Okay, Nancy.
Have a nice time.
Yeah, have a good time.
What are you doing? Oh, gee, that's bright.
Grandma, did you ever drive a car
Yeah, years ago.
when you lived in Chicago?
Huh?
When you lived in Chicago?
Yeah.
What kind of car did you drive?
I don't know. I think it was. I don't know if it was a Dodge or what.
Who taught you how to drive?
I still don't know how to drive.
Did they teach you in school?
Oh.
Where did you used to drive to? Where did you
Oh,
go?
not too far.
Like to the store? They probably didn't have seat belts back then, did they?
What?
Did they have seat belts back then?
Seatbelt.
Yeah, seat belts on the cars.
I don't remember. It's been so long ago.
Tell me about when you were a little girl.
Oh. I don't even remember that.
You told me you used to make ravioli.
Huh?
You used to make ravioli.
Why, I helped with Claudia when she was making it.
Are you going to teach me how to make ravioli from scratch? Grandma,
What?
will you teach me how to make ravioli?
I can't teach anybody now anymore. I don't know. I don't remember as good
What
like
time
I
did...
did before.
Oh boy. There's Doug. Hi, Doug. Doug gets his braces off, Dad, in 4 days.
Oh, boy. You had them a long time.
3 years. So, that'll be nice, huh? And we're going to Wrigley Field. Did you tell Grandpa we're going to Wrigley Field?
Yeah, Ray said he's gonna take him to Wrigley Field.
Yeah, and we might see a White Sox game if it's not raining. Have you been to Comiskey Park?
I was there with you.
With me?
Yes, when we were there. Yeah, he was
No, I think he took you. I wasn't there. That was when you took Doug on the train.
there. No, we went with the Douglas and you, and we went to White Sox Park, in the new park.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the old park?
Oh, yeah. I used to go to the old park once in a while.
How much did it cost to get in?
Oh, at that time, we used to get in for 55 cents.
55
And now it's about $5 or $8.
or $10. Did you sit in bleachers or seats?
What?
Did you sit on bleachers in the old
No,
park?
Well, 55 cents was bleachers, but we sat in the grandstand.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't remember what we paid the last time we went.
Did you go to Wrigley? How much was it to go to Wrigley?
Same price. But we went to Wrigley most of the time because we lived on the north side.
So it's closer?
Huh?
It was closer?
Yeah.
Wow.
The people on the south side of Chicago went to White Sox Park.
Yeah.
They didn't do it 90s, but
Hey, Lorraine, tell me about when you used to go to Wrigley Field.
Wrigley Field.
Yeah.
Oh, I got the card from Jeannie.
No, but you told me you used to go on the streetcar on Ladies' Day or something.
Yeah, Friday. It was Ladies' Day for 25 cents. Ladies got in. And I got the card on the windowsill that Jeannie and Ray sent of 1935 when I was in high school.
She's talking about 60 years ago.
When you used to go, who did you go with?
I went with my cousin, Virginia. Well, she's like a third cousin.
Did the players sign autographs back then?
Uh-huh.
Did you get any autographs?
Uh-huh. I had it for such a long time. I don't have any. I think I finally threw it away.
Oh.
Demarest. was a player, and Augie Galan, I had his autograph.
Are those worth money, Doug?
They were all Cubs players.
Well, if you find any more, don't throw them away.
Glenn was a shortstop, wasn't he?
Augie Galan, Stan Hack.
Were those your favorite players?
Stan Hack, oh, yeah. He was a blonde, tall, blonde, good-looking guy. We used to go on Fridays because it was 25 cents.
Every Friday you went?
Just about.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know how I got there, though.
I thought you said you went on the streetcar or
I know,
something.
but I don't know how I got from Oak Park to Cubs Park.
Where did your cousin live?
She lived in Chicago.
Hmm.
You had to take,
She lived on Washington Boulevard. I had to connect with her somewhere.
you took the Madison streetcar to Chicago, and then Chicago you took all the way to the ballpark.
I don't know, it must have been the streetcar. Because the picture I got are the streetcars. Picture of the streetcars.
And did you eat hot dogs when you got there?
Well, I don't remember eating anything.
But I bet ladies wore dresses back then.
Oh, yeah.
You wore a dress to the ballpark?
Nobody wore pants.
Nancy, was Shirley at the party?
No.
No.
It was just us. It was Mom and Howard
Those Padres,
and Grandma.
Dodgers, 3 times.
Okay. So we're going to be together with them on July 4th.
Yeah, we
So-
talked to Ray, so we know that
Oh, really?
you were going, yeah.
Ray, did you wash your clubs yet? And especially that putter? You better do that.
Yeah, Jeannie, how did that old car thing turn out that you videoed for your TV station?
Well, that must have been a nice affair there. And the weather was good, I hope.
And you're going to see him soon, too, aren't you? When are you going?
Oh, we'll,
October.
no, the end of
Then in
September.
September, yeah.
The end of September.
Yeah.
I was saying that Dad and Lorraine should go with you, and then you guys could all travel together.
Well, that would be nice. That would be nice, but we have to make our reservations. I always make my reservations about 6 to 7 weeks ahead because it's hard to get, get the seats and everything. Sometimes they're full. So we do it early.
Anyway,
We're looking forward to seeing them and,
yes, we're looking forward.
and celebrating my aunt's 100th birthday.
Are they going to have a party?
I don't know, but it won't matter. We're still going to go and see her, so
Yeah,
whether
sure.
it's party or not.
And remember, Ray, say hello to your mother for us.
Yes.
And Jeannie, you kiss Mary for us.
And let us know how Lisa's making out with her dates.
Yeah, that's important.
We want to know if she's got a boyfriend yet. She did have one for a while there.
Well,
I
I
don't know.
hope she's found somebody nice.
Maybe she's still going with him.
So anyway, until we see you again, you take care.
And have a nice 4th of July.
What are you guys doing on July 4th?
We're going to the lake.
Oh,
Well,
we got our lake
they always
affair.
have their thing there. We don't want to be on the road anyway.
okay, we'll eat a hamburger for me.
Okay.
And go out on the boat ride.
Oh, yeah, we
Oh,
always
yeah.
do.
Okay.
We managed to fit that in.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's free popcorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, take
bye,
care.
Jeannie
Goodbye.
Ray. See you later.
Their quarters.
She was just as big a distraction poolside in her velvet bikini. And she won raves, from the appreciative soldiers anyway, in a production of the musical Anything Goes. Although it was still a long way from Hollywood, Paul assured her that she would get her shot at stardom.
When I left for Korea, I told her that when I came back, that I would take her to California and give her her opportunity to break into show business.
While Paul was away, Jane returned to Dallas to study acting. Within a year, she landed a role in a professional production of Death of a Salesman. Now she was ready for the big time.
She was a very attractive woman, and she had some talent. But when Jane looked in her mirror, she saw the most beautiful woman in the world staring back. And this gave her an extraordinary confidence.
Jane Mansfield had made up her mind she was going to be a movie star. She was going to be a big name.
When Paul returned home from the war, he made good on his promise to take Jane to Hollywood. Accompanied by her 3 cats and a dog, they trekked west in a 1948 red Buick convertible.
She arrived in California and called Paramount Pictures and said, "My name is Jane Mansfield. I'm come from Texas, and I want to be a movie star." And the operator said, "We already have a movie star."
But they didn't have one like Jane Mansfield, and she was out to prove it. Undaunted, she launched a self-styled publicity campaign. She arranged through a relative of Paul's to have a photo of her in a bikini printed on the front page of the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner. 2 weeks later, she was named Miss Fire Prevention Week. It wasn't long before she was turning heads all over Hollywood, and she headed to her first screen test.
I had been to 3 different universities and 2 or 3 private dramatic schools before I went to Hollywood, preparing myself for my hoped career as an actress, my hopeful career as an actress. I did a soliloquy from Joan of Arc for Milton Lewis, who was the head of casting at Paramount Studios, in order to audition, and he just seemed to think that I was wasting my, as he said, obvious talents, and he lightened my hair and tightened my dresses, and this is the result.
She won a couple of bit parts, including a role in The Female Jungle, a murder mystery shot on a shoestring budget.
It was her first role that I know of, and I'm sure it was her first sort of leading role, and she was very nervous, but very gracious and willing to work. She was easy to work with and very talented.
Fire in your lips, and you can be tender with your wife.
Miss Jane asked me if I'd like to see The Female Jungle with her. She had a death scene, her last scene, and as the scene wound up, she asked the man in the projection booth to run it again. She had her death scene run 8 times, as I recall. She wanted to see it over and over, not in any maudlin way. She was just fascinated.
Although The Female Jungle was a flop, she continued to use her talents as a pinup to gain more and more publicity.
In the very beginning, I was quite cooperative publicity-wise because I felt it was of no value whatsoever to be a good actress and if no one knows about it. So I thought, all right, I'll cooperate as much as I can.
She was just more available to the press than anybody else and would pose longer. And I guess had thought of some things to say and said them. And as I say, the press was different in those days. They were looking for pin-up pictures and new sex symbols to do stories about.
About the only photo op she ever turned down was Miss Roquefort Cheese. She said, "It just didn't sound right."
Jane, you've been crowned Queen of Uranium, Miss Peanut Butter and Jelly, Miss Bluebonnet Belle of Texas, and amongst other things, I think you were once crowned Queen of Stalled Crosstown Traffic.
Oh, my.
Now, of all your honors, which title do you cherish the most?
You know which title I like?
No,
I like to be called Mother.
Touche, dear. That sums it up. You are neither naive or any of the other things.
Oh, all right. Well, it is. It means more to me than anything.
Well,
Family was real important to her, so she made a real effort, I think, to try to keep us all together and make it some sort of cohesion life. Above all, I think she was a very, very loving human being as far as she loved children. She wanted 10 kids.
Her late father's family had provided Jane with a trust fund. Determined to keep her career alive, she used the money to develop her image as a glamorous screen star. She adopted pink as her trademark, developed a fondness for heart-shaped objects, ordered a custom pink Jaguar, a mink coat, and bought a house in Benedict Canyon.
You never knew what the girl was going to do. She was a press agent's dream. And Jimmy Byron found her, a guy named Jim Byron, and got her on that junket down to Florida.
It was a press guy's idea, but Peter Gallen, who was a photographer, loaned her a bikini. And it was not the right size, and she didn't care because she expected to go in the water and come back up without it. And it was arranged that the press would all be there, that something was going to happen. They were expecting Jane Russell, and up popped Jane Mansfield au naturel.
By now, her picture was on the cover of nearly every magazine. When she returned to Hollywood, several major studios were fighting over her. She signed with Warner Brothers. Jane's marriage, meanwhile, fell victim to her budding success. Paul didn't want to take a back seat to her career.
I really couldn't envision myself being a Mr. Jennie Mansfield the rest of my life. And I was confident, by the way, that she would make it because she had more guts than most men that I know.
Warner Brothers' infatuation with Jane lasted just 6 months and 3 bit roles in Illegal, Pete Kelly's Blues, and The Burglar. By the summer of 1955, it was over. Her movie career had collapsed. Then, just as hope had all but faded, Broadway called. The fame that had eluded Jane in Hollywood awaited her on the Great White Way.
Biography's look at the life of Jane Mansfield will continue in a moment.
You never really know when you'll need cash. That's why you need a Discover card. Use your card to get cash during business hours from financial institutions and select merchant locations, or 24 hours a day from thousands of ATMs. The Discover card. Because when you need cash, timing is everything. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Pine Sol Helpline.
I love the smell of pine salt, but my husband likes lemon.
Try Lemon Fresh Pine Sol Cleaner. It has the scent of lemon and the power of pine sol.
He'll love that. Now, if he only liked Mother.
Oh, honey, that's a whole nother helpline.
Denture wearers don't let anything keep you from getting close, especially denture odor. Get Polident. It's loaded with minty mouthwash ingredient. It controls denture odor and cleans tough stains in just 5 minutes. Get Polident fresh and granddaughter close.
Tropicana Pure Premium has discovered a new way to milk more out of orange juice. New Tropicana Pure Premium Plus Calcium. Now with more nutrition than oranges ever dreamed of. Also try Plus Vitamins and Plus Fiber.
Tropicana Pure Premium. No other major brand comes closer to this than this. Now what are you waiting for? Try it. It's really very simple. Tropicana Pure Premium. You just can't pick a better juice.
People say I'm lucky, but I don't know why. There must be a lucky star for me up in the sky. People say I'm lucky, and I guess it's true. I'm lucky 'cause I've got you.
We now return to biography here on A&E.
When Jane Mansfield first appeared on a Broadway stage, it was as the female lead in the play Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter? It was her first try on a stage after an unsuccessful attempt at Hollywood. It wasn't the movies, but it was the role that would make her famous.
In those days, we wrote dumb blonde parts, and that was still allowed. This was a dumb blonde part, kind of, but smarter than any of them. And I tried to find somebody to play it.
She went to Philadelphia to do a small independent film called The Burglar. And while she was there shooting that movie, there was an open casting call for a play in New York. Will Success Spoil Rock Hunter. The part was offered to Mamie Van Doren originally.
They wanted to do a satire on Marilyn Monroe. And I was sort of the answer to Marilyn at that time, and I was like the second. And I just didn't want to do the Marilyn Monroe role because I was trying to get away from it.
God, we had Walter Matthau in the show, had Martin Gable, Orson Bean. We had a terrific cast. Couldn't find this girl. I mean, I read 2,500 different method actresses, and none of them could play a bimbo.
And one after another, these beautiful girls came in, and they didn't like any of them. They were all actressy. They were all doing Marilyn. Jane Mansfield walked in.
She was a mixture of this wild sort of sexuality and enthusiasm and total naivete. So there was a real candide kind of innocence about her.
I was excited because she was precisely the person we had been looking for and had not found.
But The comedy opened in October of 1955 with Mansfield as sex siren Rita Marlowe. She was only 22.
She was glorious. She came out, she looked like she'd been poured into the bath towel she was wearing. Just all flesh. But there was something very sweet about her and something very charming, and she had this little girl voice, and she walked around the stage, and everyone was howling and hooting and applauding, and she was really a splendiferous-looking woman.
But I adored her, and I would come and knock on her dressing room. She'd say, "Who is it?" And I'd say, "It's Orson." "Orsie!" She'd say, "Come in." And I'd open the door, and there she'd be, stark naked. Naked as the day she was born, sitting at the makeup table, putting her makeup on. She'd sit down, Orsie. I never knew where to look.
Despite Jane Mansfield's beauty, the show got off to a bad start.
And we got bad notices the first night, and we didn't play very well. And we were all meeting in the hotel ballroom, that empty ballroom hotel, the next morning, fighting this thing out. And Jane comes bouncing, and everybody's gloomy except Jane. She's got the Philadelphia paper with her picture in the review. She says, "I'm a star, I'm 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 a star." And then she put the picture in the paper. She says, "Oh, Georgie, what does coarse and inept mean?"
With Jane as the show's centerpiece, the bad reviews didn't affect the box office. Her flair for publicity kept the show going.
She was so excited that she was asked to do things for publicity that she didn't know the word no. And if you were opening a supermarket 200 miles away at 11 in the morning, Jane was there.
She loved her fans, and it was very important for her to be close to the fans. And she knew that if she was going to be famous, they had to see her.
She just appeared everywhere and anywhere, and everywhere, of course, she promoted the play. The character from the play became the character that she portrayed in all the interviews. So you really associated the two together.
To perpetuate this image, a nude Mansfield followed Monroe onto the pages of Playboy magazine.
Jane was the delight of Playboy in the Hugh Hefner's book, 40 Years of Playboy, immense volume. I think she has more space in it than any of the stars.
Another spread in Playboy in 1958 was the biggest selling issue in Playboy's young history. It was a ploy that she would repeat in years to come.
She would pose for Playboy every February from 1957 to 64. So she was their Valentine girl for several years.
There were also two spreads in Life magazine.
She was, a freak of nature in a way. No publicist gets you on the cover of Life magazine, which in those days was the biggest magazine in America, twice in 1 year. Nobody can arrange that. They couldn't keep their cameras off her.
There's no question in my mind that she was the most photographed person, probably of all time.
She appeared so often in the papers, the editors of one daily, the World Telegram and Sun, posted a bulletin in the city room that barred her picture until further notice. At the height of her Broadway fame, Jane met the man of her dreams.
Mickey Hargitay. Now, he was a more remarkable specimen than she was. Worked out all the time. Absolutely incredible physique.
Mickey was one of the stable of hunks kept by Mae West, who introduced him as the most perfectly built man in the world. The 6'2" Hungarian had been in the U.S. roughly 10 years and settled in the Indianapolis area as a carpenter. He'd begun pumping iron, and in 1955 won the Mr. Universe title.
She went to the Latin Quarter to see Mae West's show. Mickey was in the show as one of the muscle men. And when the waiter came over, she said, "I'd like a steak and that man on the right."
The two of them were bigger than life and extraordinary, and they fell head over heels in love with each other, all with themselves reflected in the eyes of the other. I don't know which. Who knows what love is? But I mean, they were a perfect pair.
As they walked around New York, very spontaneously, he would lift her up over his head in public on any street corner. She would put her arms outward, and it was called the bird. And they do it at the drop of a hat anywhere.
The press had a field day as the lovebirds cooed and Mae West pouted. Once her tour reached D.C., Mae ordered Mickey to renounce Jane publicly. Instead, he declared his undying love. Jane insisted there was no rivalry with Mae for Mickey, adding, "To me, She was our Cupid. Mansfield's antics generated hot copy. Her play, though, was cooling off.
It just ran its natural course. I mean, there are only so many people alive that want to see Jane Mansfield.
So after nearly 14 months of success, Rock Hunter had run out of steam. Jane was looking for something else, and once again, she benefited from Marilyn Monroe.
Marilyn at that time was in New York and on suspension from 20th Century Fox, refusing to play the roles they had been casted.
Fox suddenly saw Mansfield as another Monroe. They bought Rock Hunter for $100,000 and cranked up the publicity machine.
20th Century Fox advertised her as Marilyn Monroe king size. Without any disrespect to Marilyn, it just meant everything was bigger.
Taking over from Monroe, Jane was on her way to becoming a star in her own right. The movie queen she always dreamed she'd be.
Biography will continue in a moment here on A&E. A puzzle. With so many stomach remedies around, which can you take for indigestion? And for diarrhea? And for upset stomach? For most any common stomach problem, the answer is Pepto-Bismol.
Any credit card rebates hold you down with restrictions and yearly limits, but not the Discover card. The more you use it, the higher your cashback bonus award. So when it comes to our rebates, the sky's the limit. It pays to Discover.
I'm dead. I'm dead. Dead? I got 47 boxes to ship out by tonight.
Easy. FedEx shipping software. It's just point, click, and ship.
Really?
Bramwell thinks I'm working my tail off. Just point, click, and ship. Take a long lunch. Point, click, and ship. Play a little golf. Point, click, ship.
FedEx shipping software is so easy. Just point, click, and ship from your own computer.
Mr. Bramwell. I'm dead.
You're dead.
I'm dead.
You are really, really dead.
For free shipping software, call FedEx.
You're watching A&E. It's time well spent.
Not now, boy. My feet are killing me. Again? When is he going to figure out where to get the right shoes? Let's go to McCulloch's. I guess it is time for me to get some new shoes. McCulloch's wide-width shoes has a great selection of hush puppies. Quality, comfort, and fashion, all in those hard-to-find wide and extra-wide widths. These are great. What would he do without me? Hush Puppies are available at McCulloch's wide-width shoes located at 706 East Imperial Highway in Brea.
We thought we could end the war with the bomb.
The unconditional surrender of Japan.
This is your number one enemy.
The South Pacific Force needed that aggressive spirit.
50 years ago, they changed history, fought courageously, made tough decisions. She branded a traitor, he dignified in defeat. Oppenheimer, Truman, Tokyo Road, Hirohito, Halsey. Road to Victory Week on Biography. Begins August 7th on A&E.
We now return to Biography here on A&E.
Man, oh, Mansfield. Jane Mansfield, that is. The terrific star of Rock Hunter in her first rocking role on the screen.
If Broadway gave Jane Mansfield her image, Hollywood showcased it to the world in her debut, The Girl Can't Help It.
But everyone figures me for a sex part. No one thinks I'm equipped for motherhood.
We went to see The Girl Can't Help It, and I really love that movie to this day. I think it was the best movie she made. It was weird because I was a little girl and there's my mom and way up there on the screen.
She played a dizzy blonde, not all that different from her Rita Marlowe character on Broadway.
For a stop. You know, the first thing, 6 weeks. Oh, easy, Fats, it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. She ain't Rome. What we're talking about is already built.
Privately, Mickey Hargitay and Jane felt she deserved an Oscar for acting a part so unlike herself. Jane's next picture, The Wayward Bus, was a departure from her dumb blonde image.
Simple as ABC.
SEX, you mean? Look, you're a salesman, so am I. We both know what the score is. It's even.
It was a dramatic film, adapted from John Steinbeck's novel and co-starring Joan Collins. Then, Rock Hunter, the movie, was ready to roll. Jane and Tony Randall were the leads. Director Frank Tashlin adapted the script himself and added a bit part for Mickey.
She was in a bubble bath, and she didn't like the bubbles all the way up to here in the bubble bath. And she kept saying, Frank, people are going to say I'm flat-chested.
His name only so happens to be Rockwell Hunter. What do you do?
I work for LaSalle Jr., Raskin, Pooley, and Crockett. The advertising agency?
Oh, those names. How crazy influential. He's a very big, influential advertising man. That's all he is. What do you do there?
I write TV commercials.
No. TV commercials? Oh, no, I couldn't go for a guy who did that. Could I?
Between films, Jane and Mickey signed on with Bob Hope's USO show. It was the first of 3 she did from 1957 to 61. Her enthusiasm for titillating a crowd was not lost on Hope.
I just want to say that we're just taking off on a little northern cruise here. And if this doesn't melt the glaciers, nothing will. That's all I want to tell you.
By most accounts, the Cary Grant comedy Kiss Them For Me was a big mistake in Mansfield's film career. When the film flopped, Fox put the blame on Jane, not Cary. Realizing her mistake, she went back to her old ploys and orchestrated one of the most famous PR stunts ever.
It's a party at Romanoff's welcoming Sophia Loren to Hollywood. It's Sophia's night.
Jane was just making the rounds, and she leaned over to say hello.
And Jane sidles up to the table, and her bosom is hanging halfway out of a dress, and her nipple is on view.
There wasn't a thing that Jane Mansfield did that wasn't planned. It wasn't very carefully planned.
Mansfield was instantly the most overexposed celebrity on the planet. Following the stunt, many in Hollywood thought that she had gone too far. Cary Grant warned Jane that her tawdry behavior could get her run out of town. In fact, it did. Fox sent Jane on a world tour, 16 countries in 30 days. No one anticipated the hysteria her sexy act would generate. She was mobbed in Italy by fans who stole a garter from her leg. In England, she caused a stir in staid parliament when she was presented to Queen Elizabeth. And in Germany, she donned a tiger bikini and with Mickey's assistance, ate grapes from a chandelier. The international frenzy continued. Once she returned home, Mansfield mania hit the road on a tour of the U.S. Jane traveled like royalty, passing out autographed glossies and giving breathy thanks to the crush of fans.
And we're talking hundreds of thousands of people at one time, crowds wanted to see her. She got that love. She did get that from her fans.
Her greatest dreams were coming true. All she lacked was a husband and somewhere spectacular to live. Then Mickey surprised her with a 10-carat diamond.
Their wedding was kind of like something out of a fairy tale and the front page of a newspaper at the same time. They got married in this beautiful glass chapel in Palos Verdes, and there was a lot of people showed up, a lot of press. I was the flower girl.
Her wedding dress was a skin-tight gown of pale pink lace. Bob Hope sat up front, making faces at Jane.
And I think she loved it, because she loved having millions of people look at her and be around her. Maybe Mickey might have wanted it a little more private, but I don't think he really had much choice in the matter. He went along.
Even though she was a married woman, she was still America's reigning sex goddess. Soon after her honeymoon, she tried something new and hit Vegas with her new nightclub act.
She went into the Tropicana in 1958. She had, of course, a lavish review. They spent thousands of dollars on the review. And she was one of the first stars to go up to Vegas and make as much as $25,000 a week.
Jane and Mickey would have 3 children together. Sons Mickey Jr., born in 1958, and Zoltan in 1960. Their daughter Mariska was born in 1964. Now parents together, the newlyweds turned their attention toward more domestic matters. They built a home to fit her movie queen image.
The beautiful estate that's still there on Sunset Boulevard, the Pink Palace. Well, everything was pink. The rooms, the walls, the carpets, of course, the exterior.
Mickey
Being a contractor and loving to build, as he does, still does, he re-landscaped the whole back of it. We had a heart-shaped pool with fountains around it, with music underwater. We had our own zoo, pretty much. She was quite a lover of animals, and we had at any one given time maybe 30 dogs and donkeys, and we had an elephant, we had monkeys, we had ocelots, we had maybe 40 or 50 cats. The bathroom was completely carpeted and pink ceiling floor with like 3-inch shag all the way around. Gold mosaic, heart-shaped bathtub.
No matter how grandiloquent your home is or how poor your home is, if you're there with your husband and your family and those you love, that makes it cozy. Not how much money you have or what you put into it.
She went Hollywood, and she loved it. And she was open about it. It was no snob thing at all. I'm here, I'm making it, I'm going to enjoy it. And when the buses would come by with the tourists looking at the stars' homes, she would run down to the gate and greet them. Here I am, yes I am Jane Mansfield. She was a hoot. She was having fun and she didn't care.
Vera Jane Palmer, the starstruck little girl, had grown up to become Jane Mansfield, the sex goddess of the 50s. But the decade of the 60s would bring change for everyone.
Biography's look at the life of Jane Mansfield will continue in a moment.
Tomorrow on Biography, pinup girl Betty Grable. Then Road to Victory Week begins on Monday with Robert Oppenheimer and Harry Truman on Tuesday.
What you doing?
The dishes.
I thought the dishwasher does the dishes.
It does.
It does if it's a Maytag Jet Clean dishwasher. It cleans with 43 powerful jets, filters, and disposes. That way you never have to wash all the dishes before you wash all the dishes.
Unless, of course, you're looking for something to do.
Maytag, the dependability people.
The lights were out. John's sound asleep. And what am I doing? I'm hurting. I can't sleep, and I've got to work tomorrow. But I wasn't so sure about taking something, about how I'd feel in the morning. I went ahead and took Tylenol PM. It was the right choice. It stops my pain, it helps me sleep. So when morning comes, I'm ready to go. Right on time, all rested, and feeling great. Come on, honey.
Rest easy. It's Tylenol PM. Now also available in easy-to-swallow gel tabs.
You know, it's amazing how 3 little words can strike fear into the hearts of the fearless. Hey, come on, don't get bummed. Get back to school at Office Depot.
Hey, this place is cool.
Yeah, you'll see more notebooks and pens, more backpacks and binders, more electronics and software, all kinds of stuff at guaranteed low prices. Now, don't you feel better about going back to school?
Yeah, real.
Hey, I was only asking.
Taking care of business.
So, once upon a time, a Volvo 850 Turbo meets a BMW 325i, and the BMW says, I have 189 horsepower. And the Volvo says, that's nice, I have 222. I can do 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds. And the Volvo says, that's nice, I can do it in 6.3. So the BMW says, I'm the ultimate. And the Volvo says, really?
50 years ago, Americans celebrated their victory over Japan, a country destroyed by a bomb. We were told it was the only option, but now, 50 years later, questions remain. Were we lied to? Was Japan about to surrender? Recently released footage and interviews may uncover new answers.
We know that Japan was in the process of surrender.
An A&E special presentation, The Bombing of Japan. Premiering Sunday on A&E.
We now return to Biography here on A&E.
The 60s. Diamonds and glamour gave way to beads and funk, and fashionable figures from full to stick.
Jane Russell and Jane Mansfield were the sweater girls, the great sweater girls of the 50s, and now sweaters were out.
It was kind of funny because I was a teenager in the 60s, and she'd send me down to the store and say, now buy everything that you would wear. And then she'd wear them.
She seemed to feel like If skirts were mini skirts, then she'd wear a micro skirt. If it was in to wear a go-go boot, then she'd wear one blue one and one white one. And she just did everything too much, you know. She just became a big cartoon.
Here's a woman that's built an image, or had an image built for her as a caricature, as a blonde sex symbol, and all of a sudden the 60s come and the look, don't touch days are over.
Since her initial splash in '56, she had made only one other picture in Hollywood, the George Raft story. Rather than spend a lot of time and money on Jane's films, Fox shipped her to Europe.
It is a bad sign in that era when you were under contract and they sent you to England to make a movie. That was the first sign that it was over. And Jane was in England within a year and a half of arriving in Hollywood. The audience didn't buy her. That's why any career nosedives.
Her contract at 20th Century Fox was dropped. 1962. She'd been with them for 5-6 years.
But the biggest reason for her decline was the death of Marilyn Monroe.
One of the most famous stars in Hollywood history is dead at 36. Marilyn Monroe was found dead in bed under circumstances that were in tragic contrast to her glamorous career as a comic talent.
When Marilyn died in 1962, all of the blonde women from that period, their careers went into a deep decline.
With Marilyn Monroe's death, her career was over. Had to be.
In one last attempt to save her career, Jane went for a makeover.
Well, in 1964, she decided that she was going to change her image. And we packed up, moved from California to East 69th and Park Avenue in New York. She started wearing her hair up. She started wearing high-neck dresses. She started wearing gray and conservative clothes. She became very serious in her attitude about getting good roles in films, but they didn't come. I mean, that was the problem, but she really wanted it to change.
I mean, she had done such a good job embedding this incredible image that it was very, very difficult for her to try to reverse it.
And maybe it was just too late for her to go back to square one and begin a new career as a hardworking actress.
Her agents really decided that the next logical move for all this great image and all this publicity was television. Television and nightclubs.
Television was her new medium to conquer. She became a perennial guest, appearing everywhere from game shows to Jack Parr and Jack Benny.
I'm quite flattered that you came here to see my show.
Frankly, Jack, I really didn't expect to be here myself.
You didn't?
No, what happened was I was just walking outside, passing the studio, and an usher ran out and grabbed my purse.
Every show she went on, the ratings jumped.
She had television offers, but she had the mistaken belief that as a movie star, she should always just do movies. The part of Ginger in Gilligan's Island was supposed to be Jane Mansfield.
Which would have made her a TV star and kept her in money from residuals for all time.
She turned it down.
Here was a girl getting $25,000 a week in nightclubs, and she had offers pouring in for that kind of thing. And to go and do a one-shot on Jackie Gleason, she made more money than what they were offering. So it really was just economics.
TV suited her image, but she could never do more than occasional guest spots. Her bread and butter continued to be promotional appearances. She averaged one a week, whether cutting a ribbon or opening supermarkets for $5,000 cash and merchandise. At a meatpacking plant, she walked away with 250 pounds of meat.
She was very good at self-promoting, and they furnished the house, I think, for almost next to nothing because of her ability to self-promote. She'd work out some kind of a publicity gimmick to get the stove or the dishwasher or whatever it was that she wanted.
She started pushing the erotic envelope. In Rio, Jane ignited a male carnival crowd with a tabletop shimmy. Hysterical revelers stripped her to the waist before Mickey hustled her out. Her next film, Promises, Promises, chronicled the sexual misadventures of two couples on a cruise. Its nudity set Hollywood precedent, and location stills were later featured in Playboy magazine.
In 1963, Hugh Hefner was arrested in Chicago because he had printed these naughty pictures, which we consider them naughty today, I guess, of Jane Mansfield in his Playboy magazine. And those were scenes from Promises, Promises.
The strain of her deteriorating career began to reveal itself in her marriage.
She felt too restricted. Now, Mickey came from an old Hungarian family where they were very traditional, and although she needed a man to lean on, she didn't want a man telling her what to do. I think he believed that she'd outgrow this, but she didn't. They had terrible fights, but he was always there for her when nobody else would be.
They'd been together a really long time. I think maybe he had had enough. I do know that she loved him to the end. They went back to and from each other a couple times.
In 1963, Jane and Mickey were divorced. After the divorce, Jane moved her career in a new direction, singing. It went nowhere. She also tried summer stock. Her director was Brooklyn-born Matt Cimber. He became her manager, and in the fall of '64, they wed, quietly. Their son Anthony was born that next year.
For me, it wasn't so much of a sexual attraction as a fun attraction. We laughed and had a lot of fun together. She absolutely enjoyed life.
But as her career continued to decline, she found less in life to enjoy. She turned to alcohol.
There was no question, toward the end, she had an alcohol dependency. It was almost like she was saying, see, I'm human. See, I'm real. I have this weakness. I tried very desperately, and many times, to reverse the pattern. I just couldn't do it.
It wasn't long before the marriage to Cimber crumbled.
I think she was much stronger than I was, you know, and much more determined, I think.
In 1966, she filed for divorce. Her divorce lawyer was Sam Brody. They became lovers.
He was obsessed with her, absolutely obsessed with her. He gave up a wife and family and abandoned a big law practice to follow Jane.
Their relationship was a stormy one. Jane and Brody were locked in an obsessive, abusive nightmare. Their boozing and brawling finally forced promoters to cancel her nightclub tour of Northern England, complaining that her legs were too black and blue to be exhibited in the miniskirts her act required. Jane was not the only one being abused. Her daughter, Jane Marie, now 16 years old, was also beaten.
I didn't like what was going on, and I felt a need to get out, not just for me, but for my brothers and sisters, and so I packed up and left, or ran away, or however you want to call it.
Jane Marie sought refuge at a West Los Angeles police station. She had allegedly been beaten by Brody. Photos shot by an uncle revealed welts and bruises. With Jane Marie's departure, Jane Mansfield lost the one constant of her entire life. Her home life in a shambles, her career at a dead end, Jane Mansfield's life was in a tailspin that would take a fatal turn.
Biography's look at the life of Jane Mansfield will continue in a moment.
People are much more satisfied than they have been in the past. Now with quality care standards, we have some guidelines to follow. This is what the customers want. They want to have their appointment within a day. They want to have their car fixed right the first time. This is them speaking. Anything we can do to make it better. It's not just meeting the standards that people are setting for us, but exceeding them. Something we're doing's working.
Quality care people, quality care standards at your Ford and Lincoln Mercury dealer.
You probably think paint is paint. Well, one place has highly trained people who go to great lengths to answer any question, big or small. Expert color matching from the palest peach to the deepest pine green. And over 2,000 stores, so one's right in your neighborhood. Sherwin-Williams. And you thought it was just a can of paint. Hey, there's only one paint like ours and only one place to get it.
Sherwin-Williams. Now, Weather Perfect Flat is just $11.99 a gallon during our cool summer sale.
A beautiful stranger engaged to one of three brothers.
I'm planning to be with her.
Falls in love with another.
You will marry her. Make an honest woman of her.
Yes! in desperation marries the third, and a family is torn apart. But help me, I'll kill you. In the film that thrilled millions, Brad Pitt, Anthony Hopkins, Aidan Quinn, Julia Ormond, Legends of the Fall. Now on home video, rated R.
How big is big? She was the biggest.
Known as America's favorite pinup girl, she danced on legs insured for $1 million and once commanded one of the highest salaries in Hollywood.
Absolute brilliant wit.
But behind the fame lay broken marriages and the biggest fight for her life. Betty Grable, as Blonde Ambition Week continues tomorrow on A&E.
You're watching A&E. It's time well spent.
Consider credit card rebates, gasoline, airline miles, cars. Many can hold you down with restrictions or yearly limits. But not the Discover card. The more you use your card, the higher your cashback bonus award. And you're never restricted on how you can use cash. When it comes to rebates from the Discover card, the sky's the limit. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
We now return to biography here on A&E.
What kind of a girl do you think I am? Of course I was.
Jane Mansfield's last role was in A Guide for the Married Man, a 1967 comedy directed by Gene Kelly. Her role was little more than a cameo. It was typical of the role she was being offered. Small, exploitational parts capitalizing more on her physical assets and notoriety than on any dramatic prowess.
I think she felt that she wasn't going to have a long career, and she settled for exploitation-type films, settled for what she could get.
It's too bad she didn't have the guidance earlier from an agent or whoever to be able to maneuver her out of that at a much earlier stage in life.
After a decade in Hollywood, for all she had hoped to achieve as a movie star, she had never been able to become more than the image she had created. The studios weren't calling. There were no films for her. But her large following assured her the only work she could get, the public appearance and nightclub circuit.
And she played Vegas many, many times. But over the years, less work and less preparation went in to the act, so it deteriorated.
She had 5 children. She had a huge mansion. She had bills. She had to work, and she took the work where she could get it.
She opened in New York City's Latin Quarter in 1966, amidst a transit strike and 0-degree weather. She packed them in, but it was still the outer limits of show business. In June of 1967, she was booked for an engagement in Biloxi, Mississippi.
I was held over in New York, and I asked her if she would take my gig, and she said that she would, and that I would take hers, which was later.
With Sam Brody and 3 of her children along, Mansfield opened at Gus Stevens' Supper Club.
Rednecks, they yahooed, and they make a lot of noise, and you can sing off key, and then they go, yeah, just show a little more this, and you collect your money, and then you wiggle to the bank and deposit it and go off to New Orleans and have fun.
In the early morning hours of June 29, 1967, Mansfield, accompanied by Sam Brody, driver Ronnie Harrison, and her 3 children, left Biloxi, bound for New Orleans. There, Jane had scheduled a television appearance in the morning. She had decided to make the 2.5-hour drive immediately following the last show of the night, in order to sleep an extra hour in the morning. While en route, their car was suddenly enveloped in a thick fog of mosquito pesticide. Speeding along Route 90, they never saw the 18-wheeler that had slowed ahead of them. When the police arrived on the scene, they thought the Buick had been a convertible. The roof of the car had been completely sheared off. Mansfield, Brody, and Harrison were killed instantly. Miraculously, all 3 children, asleep in the back, survived. Initial reports from the scene indicated wrongly that Mansfield had been decapitated. A wig, knocked from her head upon impact caused some confusion among eyewitnesses.
My aunt couldn't tell me because it happened in the middle of the night and they had phoned her. So she just handed me the headlines.
The funeral was held in her birthplace of Penn Argyll, Pennsylvania, according to the wishes of Mickey Hargitay, who had been named official widower when a judge declared Jane's divorce to him void. Though Hollywood was conspicuously absent from the affair, thousands of fans congregated to remember her.
The crowd was very respectful. I saw men remove their hats, for instance, as the casket went by.
There was probably more people at this funeral than 2 or 3 towns together. That's true. There was a lot of people there.
It was one last Mansfield mob scene, a funeral fit for the movie legend that Jane Mansfield almost became. Her stardom lay not in Hollywood, but in the devotion of her fans who attest Jane Mansfield was a star.
She gets a bum rap from everybody. Jane was 10 years ahead of her time. Jane was actually a piece of pop art.
I remember her and me giggling. I mean, I remember her as being silly. I remember the good times. You know, that's the way I want to remember it.
To the generations of moviegoers born since her death, Jane Mansfield, unlike Marilyn Monroe, is a curiosity rather than an icon, a product of her time rather than timeless. But to me, and to all of us who were witnesses to the phenomenon that was Jane Mansfield, she's as much a symbol of the 50s as hula hoops, the cha-cha, or the 55 T-bird. And now, let's see what's coming up on our next biography.
With glamour, talent, and a formidable leg up on the competition, this pinup queen enticed with a slice of Hollywood cheesecake. Betty Grable on Biography as Blonde Ambition Week continues tomorrow on A&E.
I hope you'll join me and Jack Perkins weeknights here on Biography. Thanks for watching.
Now you can own a video cassette of this program. Call 1-800-423-1212 and you will receive the program you've just seen for only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. Call 1-800-423-1212.
They loom over Easter Island like great protectors, but who built the hundreds of huge stone men that litter the land? Scientists explore the possibilities on an all-new Ancient Mysteries tomorrow. Now it's an evening of amazing music. Andrew Lipton leads the Dallas Symphony Orchestra in an educational concert for kids, followed by a dazzling presentation of a classic story. Sting narrates Peter and the Wolf. Next on A&E, it's time well spent.
To learn more about tonight's biography on A&E and other legends in entertainment, explore the vast selection of book titles at your Barnes & Noble bookstore, the book lover's second home. And visit the new A&E Home Video Biography section at your nearest Barnes & Noble.
They say man cannot live on bread alone. That's why Discover Card offers the Cashback Bonus Award. The more you use your card, the more you'll get back. And with no annual fee, you're sure to get your fill. It pays to discover.
Pine Sol Helpline.
I love the smell of Pine Sol, but my husband likes lemon.
Try Lemon Fresh Pine Sol Cleaner. It has the scent of lemon and the power of Pine Sol.
He'll love that. Now, if he only liked Mother.
Oh, honey, that's a whole nother helpline.
People say I'm lucky, but I don't know why. There must be a lucky star for me up in the sky. People say I'm lucky, and I guess it's true. I'm lucky 'cause I've got you.
So you thought PC meant politically correct? Well, sure. New Balance shoes are politically correct. They're proudly made in the USA. But PC also means performance and comfort. So whether you're looking for an athletic shoe, a casual shoe, or a dress shoe, New Balance offers the most comfortable lightweight performance shoes you can buy. How much more PC can you get? Look for a full line of New Balance shoes and extra wide widths up to size 15 at McCulloch's Wide Width Shoes, 706 East Imperial Highway in Brea.
Step into the past with the History Channel. Travel back for the week's big event on History Sunday. Spend the finest hours of your evenings with Movies in Time. Or journey through the tunnels of time with the best documentaries that history has to offer on History Alive. For all of history, all in one place. Call your cable company and ask them to carry the History Channel.
Experience the rush at the eye of the storm. Justice in the glare of the spotlight.
It was like an electronic rape.
The riots up close.
We were unfortunate enough to be in the line of fire.
The buzz of the battlefield.
This is no man's land.
See Washington under a microscope.
Everything is fair game.
Danger around every corner.
Bang. Dead.
Today's headlines from a complex world.
I'm Bill Curtis in Hanoi.
The issues, the inside story. Investigative reports. Tomorrow on A&E.
A&E's Stage is brought to you in part by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And by Acura. Some things are worth the price.